Everybody always shies away from photographing people or from photographing children without seeing their face, and seeing like this right here looks really nice, but people shy away from this a lot, and I don't know why. Like when they don't see their faces really, or like they'll see their back or something. Hey baby. They usually shy away from those kinds of shots. Everybody wants this shot where they're smiling or they're sitting still posed. I find that very boring, so I avoid doing that usually. I mean, I don't mind them here and there, but not always. That's what makes my photography different. Is it people, always want the same kind of thing. It's boring. When I take photos, I like to keep records, basically. I like to make them like records. That's how I view them. I don't view them as photos. I view them as records of how small her hands are, her hands moved. She's gonna start changing. Her body's gonna be different. She's growing, and that's my bird. So yeah, I just view them as records of her life and what she does, not always getting the face. Sometimes I'll just get the hands or something just because it's a detail shot. And like I said, people really avoid that, and I don't know why they do, because it's, like I said, a record, and it's a shame that you would not want to take those pictures or video or whatever of just, you only want to get them of them smiling or whatever. That's very boring. Get memories of records. You want to save those memories forever and cherish them forever. So that's another tip for you guys. If you stay focused on them always smiling, then you're not gonna get the real them. You don't see them through that picture, and you lose those moments. Those moments don't come back. People shy away from, oh, kids crying, and they don't want to get them crying, and it's a shame because that's really who they are. That's them. Why do you always want them to be happy and just look one way? They don't know how they ever looked when they were younger. That's what's really weird. Is it, why wouldn't you want to see that stuff forever and memorize how they looked, however they were? See, and this is another example of things that I'm saying that we shouldn't shy away from, because this is them. Even if it's just their hands, or sometimes you get their face, it doesn't always have to be about them smiling. You should take records of them playing, and, well, I don't even say photos, records, because you see them doing things while they're playing and stuff. That's why I like to take pictures of my sister mostly when she's playing. I don't really necessarily like taking her somewhere where she's just gonna stand there and not do anything. I think that's very boring and not her. So here are a few examples of some pictures that I've taken of my sister where she's not looking at me. She's just interacting with the environment, and you can see how beautiful it is and how honest it is and how pure it feels. She's just interacting with the environment, and you can see the realness in these images. And I don't really tell her to go stand somewhere. I'll tell her stuff like, go step on those leaves, and I'll give you guys a few more tips on how to tell them or how to move them without necessarily telling them stand here and don't do anything. I mean, sure, occasionally I'll tell her, hey, go stand over there and smile or something, but hardly ever, because I want to make sure that most of the time I get her real reaction from their environment around her. And it's funny because just the other day I seen a grandmother tell her grandson to pose and smile, and his face was just hilarious. He was not into it at all. At the end of this video, I'll show you guys a few tips on how to get awesome pictures without having to tell them to smile. Hey you guys, I switched now to my DSLR so you guys can see kind of what I'm seeing, except it's going to be a lot less nicer, of course, than when I take my still photos. But I just want you guys to see kind of what I'm seeing through my lens a little bit better. It's not the exact same because I don't have manual controls on this camera like I do when I'm taking stills. So here's another thing, I guess, for you guys as a tip. Like I always tell her, okay Jasmine, show me this, or move over there, and that's how I kind of get her positioned. I don't really pose her per se, but I'll tell her, okay Jasmine, look, go stand by that red thing, because look, your dress is red and you want to see it red too, right? Sorry, I'm kind of struggling with my focus. You see how I just tell her to move a certain way, and then she'll be like, okay. Because she'll be like, oh, you know, red, and, you know, it's just that kind of mentality that they're in right now. Okay, now that we moved to a different part of the room, I just took off the diffusing thing, and I just moved the curtains, so now we have this harsh light again, because I want to make sure that, you know, that there's enough light on it. Another thing you'll want to remember is to just keep moving around. So just move around, and you see how I'm giving different angles. I'm gonna move things around. Like I'm gonna move this table out of the way with the chairs right here. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Refer to my previous video for tips on how to photograph children and from keeping them from getting bored. And also be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Links to my Facebook and Instagram will be in the description. And I hope you guys like this video. Thank you guys.